Hey everyone, and welcome back. Today we're going to talk about God, and I'm going to give you a message specifically from God. But I want to talk about some things about God that I think that you might have never heard before, and maybe if you had, this is just a reminder. But what is God? And how does God tie into religion? How does God tie into tarot, right? How many of you guys have heard that these tarot cards are evil or that you're talking to demons or the devil? Probably a lot of you, right? Is that true? And if it is, how do I protect myself so that I'm not getting that energy, right? Because I do tarot readings. I'm going to answer all that. And now this is what I feel. These are channeled messages I've received from Spirit. Okay? And for me, they resonate. For you, they might not. That's okay. I think they will though, because I think that when your soul hears this information, you're going to have this remembering. Okay? So when I began on my spiritual journey, I was reading a lot of the John Edward books. And there was one where he talked about being a recovering Catholic, right? And he said that joking, but it's funny because he said, as he's channeling messages from Spirit, how does it come into play with his Catholic background, right? And he said, it's all about having some type of communication with God. The religions are just different languages, right? But as long as the communication's happening, it doesn't matter the language that you're speaking, okay? Another way to think of this is electricity. Okay, because God's a frequency and he's the frequency of love. That love is always available to you, but it's up here, okay? You can temporarily pull yourself away from that love, but it's always right here and it's always available for you. That love can never come down to where you are, okay? But all you have to do is look back up and remember the love is there for you and it's always available. But you have free will. You have the choice on if you want to stay down here or if you want to come back up and meet God at the frequency of love. Think about electricity, okay? Let's say electricity is God, okay? Let's say you want to make a sandwich and we have an oven, we have a microwave, and we have a toaster, okay? And let's say that they all make the sandwich. Maybe it's a little bit different, but they can all make you a sandwich, okay? Now let's say one person makes their sandwich with a toaster and they say the toaster is the best way. The toaster is the only way you can make sandwiches. You have someone over here saying, no. Have you tried it in the oven? The oven's the best way. And really, the whole point is that you're getting food that tastes good, right? And it wasn't the device that made it taste good, right? Without the electricity had to power the device so that I could make the sandwich. That is how I describe religion with God. God is the electricity. Religions are the different devices to cook your sandwich, okay? So as far as like what religion are you following, I don't think that matters as much as just having some kind of connection. For me, I connect just straight to the source through spirituality. I talk to God every day, okay? And you can too. You can too, okay? Now, let's talk about tarot cards because I know a lot of you are going to be like, well, how does that play in? Aren't those cards the devil? And so, now I know all of you don't think that, but there are a lot of people that do. Let me tell you, I did a reading. I was at a party and they were wanting me to read their cards. And I said, oh, I didn't bring my cards. And I was like, oh, what a bummer, because I do feel the energy. I feel like someone could hear a message. So eventually I got this idea, and I'm sure it was God giving me the intuition, right? But I said, you know what? Do you have just playing cards? Because I was like, I have a feeling that I'm going to be able to read the playing cards. So I got the playing cards, and if you know anything about tarot, you know that every single card has like a number associated with it, right? This is the Four of Pentacles, okay? Now, whenever you're reading a deck of cards, what I would do is I'd put the cards down and I would see the number on the card, and I would let my brain, I'd let my clairvoyance speak to me and be like, so like if a 4 came out of the deck, I'd be like, okay, what is this 4 associated with? Is it associated with the Emperor, with the Pentacles, the Cups, the Wands, or the Swords, right? And I would receive the clairvoyant image of which 4 from the tarot deck this was supposed to go with. I did that for everyone there. Everyone was in tears, crying by the end of the reading. And I said, I can't believe that that worked, but that was really cool. And they said, Brianna, you made us cry with a deck of playing cards. It has nothing to do with the cards. It's coming from within yourself. And I think that's a beautiful way to talk about this, because these are not evil. These are not bringing in demons, okay? These are helping you channel into this inner knowledge that you have within yourself. And when you set your intention to only have that of the highest frequency of love and light, you ask your spirit guides, do not let anything else in that doesn't match what I'm wanting. I want to talk to God. I want the frequency of God. Then nothing else can come in, because it's all energy. You cannot, it's kind of like physics. It can't happen, okay? So if you ever feel weird, like you feel like there's weird energy around, do that as well. Say, you're not allowed here. Challenge it, because it's all about intention, okay? So on that note, first of all, put in the comments, what do you think about all that? How do you resonate with God? What is God to you? And we're going to pull a message. And yes, I'm going to use these tarot cards. I'm going to use these tarot cards, and I'm going to also use my angel cards. And I'm going to get a message from God to you, because you know what I think? I think November is going to be an amazing month for you. And it doesn't matter when you're watching this, because it is the November coming to you from when you see this, not from when I post this, okay? I just feel like there's some big energy in the month of November. Things are going to change for you in November. Things are going to change. It's going to be your best month. It really is, and you deserve it. Let's see what God, I'm going to channel the energy from God right now. So we're just going to shuffle this deck. And if you guys want a tutorial on how I read tarot, like this is like, I'm telling you what, everyone's psychic. Anyone can do this. You don't need a book. You do not need the book to learn these cards. If that interests you, put it in the comments as well. And maybe I will start a tarot series on how to read. Because I know a lot of us are busy, and also I don't want to really charge anyone money to have to learn this when I could just post it for free on here, right? As long as you guys follow me, and we could do that. So, okay, let's get some cards out. What would God have to say in this moment to you? Okay, the Three of Pentacles. We have the Fool, and interestingly enough, with that we have the Eight of Cups. Okay, and then there was one more that was sitting here on top, and it was the Two of Pentacles. So let's go ahead and get this message here. Okay. Oh, we're going to go deep. Okay, should have known. Okay, what I'm feeling with this, especially with this Three of Pentacles, it's making me feel like you look like you have it all together on the outside. People who don't know you probably think that they wish they had your life. And you do have a good life. You do have a very, very good life. But there's one thing that no one understands but you, and that just like this castle, it looks perfect. Everyone would want to live in that castle, right? But what no one else understands is that that castle's made of sand, right? It's not sturdy. It's not stable. This is what I feel about you. It makes me feel like there are a few really good things you have going for you, right? And you're riding that energy of those few things that are good for you. But what no one really realizes is that you feel like, how long can I sustain this? How long can I sustain this until it all comes crumbling down? Because there's something missing in your life. There's something missing. But it's like, what is it? Everything looks good. What else could I even have? Okay. The Fool came out. Oh, wow. This makes me feel like God himself is saying, you need to let me into your life a little bit more. You need to let me into your life a little bit more and let me show you the way. Because I feel like a lot of you guys have been trying to figure it all out on your own. And God's saying, actually, I have something 10 times better planned for you that you could ever come up with. You would never be able to come up with this in your wildest dreams. But I know who you are energetically. I know the frequency at which you vibrate. And I know everything that matches that frequency perfectly. And I know how to get you to those things. But you have to get out of your own way. You have to get out of your own way. And I'm seeing the Eight of Cups here, okay? And I feel like that's like you're saying to God, you're like, well, what do I have to do to make that happen? Like, I don't see it. I don't see it happening in the situation that I'm in. And you almost feel like, I feel like I have to leave something. I have to give something up in order to get what I want. And that's hard to do. Because you're like, I have a good life, but it just feels like something's missing. And you know what he's saying? The Two of Pentacles, You think you have to choose between two things, but you don't.